A sitting United States Congresswoman said that she is rooting for other countries over the U.S. Let's get into it. How's it going, everybody? David Medina here. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And if you're on X or Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, make sure you follow me at David Medina PDX. I appreciate all my new followers, all my new subscribers. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. On each YouTube, on each social platform, there's a bell you can hit so you're notified when new posts come up, because sometimes the algorithms will be like, nah, we want to suppress truth for a little bit, and you won't see new posts that come out. I get messages all the time and people are like, hey, I didn't see your post come out. What happened? So yeah, just turn the bell on for notifications. If you want to support me financially and invest in what I'm doing, I have a big vision for this whole thing. I want to do documentaries. I want to do crazy things. Like I want to build this thing. Everything you see here today was provided by people just like you, man. It's donated or invested in me. I have some donors that invest in me right now, but we need more, man, if we're going to grow this thing. But the least you can do if you can't donate at thedavidmedina.com, the link's in the description on YouTube, is just to like this video and share it with a friend. That if you can't afford to give or to donate to my work, then just share and like, man, I'll be just as grateful. I love you guys so much, so thank you. I hate that we're ending the day right now talking about this. I'm gonna try to be as light as possible, because this girl, she drives me absolutely nuts. She's out of Texas. Her name is Representative Jasmine Crockett. She is the worst of the worst. I mean, this is like worse than any squad. I think she's worse than any squad member. Like I can't stand Ilhan Omar, but I cannot stand Jasmine Crockett even more. She says things like what she just said. We're about to play the clip. She was on the Breakfast Club. It's Charlemagne the God hosts it with some other hosts. It's a podcast radio show, and she was on there today just spouting nonsense. But if you're not familiar with her, I want to just play some clips of some of the things that she said in the past and why I don't know how this girl got elected, man. I don't understand it. Here's Jasmine Crockett on The View. Talking about just listen.
% approval rating. It's higher than it's ever been. 70% believe that he's fulfilling his promises, and 45% believe Democrats should be more moderate. What do you take away? I think there's a lot to make of those numbers. What's your takeaway from that?
My takeaway is just like the election. We've got to do better at education. People don't understand.
% approval rate.
Like literally better at education. People don't understand. She literally just said the American people are dumber than her. Like she's smarter than the American people. We just need to educate people more. Like, what are you talking about? We just need to educate people. Like, oh my gosh. Okay, that's just one little tiny clip. I wanted to start it off soft to begin with. Okay, but this is when so Doge, everything going on with Doge, with Elon Musk saving Americans money or letting us know where our taxpayer dollars are going. It's a good thing. Elon Musk and President Trump have proposed a $5,000 kind of like tax return to every American to help them out, man. I would love an extra $5,000. I don't know about you, but Jasmine Crockett says, nah. Jasmine Crockett, by the way, who is worth $2 to $9 million. Her net worth is $2 to $9 million. I don't know how that happens being a congresswoman, just for the short time that she's been. She said $5,000. That's nothing. Listen to her.
Now, President Trump says he likes the idea of giving some of the savings from Doge back to Americans as kind of a dividend. Would you support that?
Listen, he's just telling a lie. He's not the one that had anything to do with the $1,200 refunds that people had during the midst of COVID. That was done by a Democratic House and Democratic Senate. Right now, what they're going to do is say, hey, we want to give you a refund, but Congress won't let us, because they already know that there's just no money for that. The only reason that those refunds came before was because we were living in different times. This was a time in which hopefully we won't ever go through again. We had a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic. The bad part is that I don't know if it's...
Your party was in control of that pandemic for literally 90% of it. Your party was the one that shut down the country. Your party was the one that was calling for mandates everywhere. Your party was the one that was in charge the last 4 years. What the hell are you talking about, lady? Oh, she's so bad, man. Like, where do they pick this girl up, man?
once in a lifetime, because we know that Ebola, unfortunately, was detected right here in New York here recently. And if we continue down this road of getting rid of scientists or deciding that we don't want to rely on experts as it relates to what they're telling us to do, or we don't want to deal with vaccines and medicine in this country, then we may be facing not only our next pandemic, but our next 2, 3, or 4 pandemics because of their incompetence. So no, we are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
I don't know I don't know about you. I don't know where that, I mean, obviously she's a multimillionaire, and the more sources say that she's worth closer to the $9 million. So yeah, $5,000 might not be a lot to you, but I promise you that majority of people in the Black community, if not all of them, the community that you come from, would disagree with you on that. And I'm gonna play some videos here just in a second that's gonna show you, because they always say, don't speak for Black people, don't speak for Black people. Okay, well, you know what? Actually, I'm 3% African American, so I can speak 3% of the time about it. But they always say, don't speak for Black people. Okay, so I'm gonna let Black people speak. I have a few videos of Black people ripping her to shreds. I can't wait to play it. We're gonna play it here in just a second. I'm setting the ground for it here. Jasmine Crockett believes Black people are the same as transgender people, and many Black people think she's helping us. Jason Whitlock went crazy with this tweet. She's mentally challenged, and you are mentally challenged if you can't see it.
Let me tell you something.
Love Jason Whitlock.
Y'all need to find some people that actually care about their constituents. And honestly, whenever y'all are ready to work, we on this side of the aisle have always been ready to do what is right by the American people. Instead, what you can continue to do is go after the most vulnerable in our country. The fact that you just sat up there and somehow figured out how to tie trans folk to your argument makes no sense to me. But let me tell you something. Trans people ain't going nowhere. Just like when the racists wanted to make sure that Black people somehow were going to be dismissed in this country, we ain't left either. And I'll yield.
I honestly know Black people that if you literally tell them that the transgender issue is the same as the slavery and all what Black people have went through in history, they will literally fight you right there on the spot. Like Black people do not agree with this woman. She is a far leftist radical that is a multimillionaire. We're going to even show, there's a picture of her with a certain someone you're going to want to see at the very end of this video. But I'm telling you right now, she's just bought and paid for like most Democrat politicians in Washington, D.C. So I'm setting the ground for you here. I'm showing you now, you're starting to know, you're starting to figure out who she is and who this idiot is. I want to play this clip to raise our spirits a little bit, because Scott Jennings, he was like, I thought I would have a favorite person on CNN, but I do. And his name's Scott Jennings. And maybe we need to do a Scott Jennings compilation of Scott Jennings takedowns. I don't know why. Like, maybe I do know why. I mean, because I'm in media. So they put Scott Jennings, he's like their token conservative, right? And they put him on there to increase their ratings. They need to pretend that they're balanced. So they'll have a bunch of crazy radicals on the left host their shows and everything. And then they'll drop in one person, Scott Jennings, who's actually really good. He's probably going to be at Newsmax or Fox eventually, because he's destroying all these people on CNN. It's freaking amazing. But Jasmine Crockett had a meltdown over DEI criticism, claiming her ancestors built the White House.
You might have recall a news story from last year. There was some interest in the fire departments and the firefighters in California, and the interest was that there were too many white men who were firefighters, and we need to have a program in California to make sure we don't have enough white men as firefighters. So we have
there you go.
Yeah, so we have DEI, we have budget cuts, and yet I'm wondering now, if your house is burning down, how much do you care what color the firefighters are?
You can respond, and then we'll
listen. I am so tired. You know what? There was an article that just came out that said that actually the most educated demographic in this country right now is Black women. So let me be clear. Because you are a woman, or because I know that some of the right has been sharing these photos of the fact that I believe that the fire chief may be a woman or something, that has nothing to do with it. We are looking at qualifications with diversity.
You notice, like, when she literally talks, she really thinks that she's like smart. She really thinks that she's like, she is her. You ain't her, girl.
Equity and inclusion has always been about is saying, you know what? Open this up. Don't just look at the white men. Open it up and recognize that other people can be qualified.
I mean, she makes literally Ilhan Omar look like freaking Albert Einstein, dude. Like she makes AOC look like freaking like the smartest freaking I don't know, philosopher. I don't know, dude. She is the worst, in my opinion. She's the worst. She's the worst in DC. Out of all of the crazy radical leftist politicians, she is the absolute freaking worst.
And the fact that we want to, at a time when people are dying, decide that a country of immigrants is failing or people are dying because the same very people that built this country, because the last time I checked, y'all didn't say that anything was wrong with the White House. And I can promise you, it was my ancestors that built the White House. So listen, if we have been good enough to build this country, we are good enough to serve and die overseas. We are good enough to serve in other ways. And the fact that people actually decide that they want to engage in public service, whether it's sitting in Congress or whether it's serving on the fire department or the police department, should not be an issue. The fact is, stop trying to act as if only white men are the ones that are capable. Because right now, you're sitting at a table with 3 very capable black women.
I'm not.
Okay, so like I'm looking on my phone and I'm like, okay, who built the White House? And it's literally it comes up as like a white dude. It was like Irish-born architect was chosen, so he designed it, and then it's showing like, did slaves build the White House? This is White House Historical Association. Construction on the, maybe they did. I don't know. I don't know. I know. So it just says that an Irish guy designed it. Capitol situated. Okay. Did slaves, a slave coffle passing the Capitol grounds, 1815 published. Okay. Stonemason, slave. Okay. Construction on the president's house began in 1792. The decision to place the Capitol on land ceded by 2 slave states, Virginia and Maryland, ultimately influenced the acquisition of laborers to construct its public buildings. Say enslaved laborers, slave carpenters. So I mean, okay, she may be right, and this is what I do, man. Like I'm not trying to I'm not always gonna just say like she says black people built the White House. Maybe some slaves did. I mean, it says right there that in the White House archive that some slaves built it. Okay, fine. They built it, and none of us agree with slavery. What's your point? Okay, what's your freaking point? You know what? You know who built the Colosseum in Rome? You know who built that? Was the freaking Jewish slaves, dude. Do you see do you see Jews crying about that? Do you see Jews like, okay, like what's your point? And then here is the lead right here. Here is the lead from the thumbnail while you clicked here probably. This was today. Jasmine Crockett was on the Breakfast Club. It's a radio show / podcast with Charlamagne Tha God, who's also like a guy that he drives me nuts because I know he knows better, but he pretends that he's like really smart, but he just like, you know he knows better. He just doesn't want to admit it because he doesn't want to be canceled. He doesn't want to be out of the crowd of the left. And but here she was. I mean, I cannot believe that we're at this point right now where we're electing people to the United States Congress that literally say that they are rooting for other countries over the United States, the country that they've been elected to serve.
Been the one to call it out. The fact that I'm rooting for Canada and I'm rooting for Mexico a lot is really wild, but they are really the ones that are speaking truth to power right now. They can see what it is, and they were like, we are not messing with this crazy regime from Mar-a-Lago, and basically calling them thugs. That's what it is. But I'm like, y'all knew who he was when y'all elected him.
She may be worse than Al Sharpton.
Oh, don't act surprised. You've been the one to call it out. The fact that
she may be worse than Al. She may be the worst of the worst. And you know what? She'll keep getting reelected because people are clueless, man. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. And now I'm going to play some clips for you of black people responding to Jasmine Crockett. Black people that are literally accusing her of calling them victims, like she's pushing victimhood. She's pushing all this stuff. Let me, a non-black person, stop talking so you can listen to, so I can stop talking for black people. Listen to this.
Jasmine Crockett, bring your goofy ass up here because you got the nerve to go on TV and say that the United States is not in the business of handing out money, but the USAID was handing out money nonstop.
Amen, brother.
It's okay when y'all do it, but when Trump do it, it's a problem. And then there's another bone to pick with you. Come on, ghetto Jasmine. Bring your ass to the front of the congregation once again.
I love this dude.
All right. You got the nerve to really throw out in the world the Ebola virus, 1 case in New York, 1 case. Watch the fear-mongering, people. This is what they do. They're planting the seeds early. They're planting the seeds early. Pay attention to what they're saying. Anaya Presley went up there and told us she wants somebody to help censor the American people. And the sheep are okay with that. You see them out there protesting.
Yeah.
Oh, what side you on? They doing all this. But at the end of the day, you really have to pay attention. These people are planning something big. And it's
Hey, man, that's what I've been saying.
Because they lost big.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying, dude. I've been like in one of my last videos, one of my recent videos, I ended it by saying something like, especially with the Kash Patel confirmation, evil and these radicals are being pushed into a corner. I mean, they're like being threatened that their funding is going to be pulled. President Trump was threatening the governor of Maine today to pull their funding unless she stops their federal funding, unless they stop letting men and women's sports. I mean, they're pushed into a corner, man. When people get pushed into a corner, it's fight or flight mode, and they get desperate. You saw it in 2020. Look what happened in 2020, man. Look what they did in 2020. That's what he's talking about. So I'm just saying, head on a swivel. I'm not trying to be fear mongering. I'm just saying, head on a swivel. Know who we're dealing with.
I love it. I got to get my cup for some liberal tears, but what y'all doing is crazy.
I love that, dude. Love that, dude. Okay, here's another one.
Any black person that listens to The View, D.L. Hughley, Joy Reid, Roland Martin, Pastor Jamal Bryant, Jasmine Crockett, life must really suck for them to encourage you to have a victim mindset as if you're oppressed, and they're making all this money just to sell you that. Life must really suck. You should really think for yourselves. You should really wake up.
See, this is why you come to me, because I'm gonna show you things. I'm not gonna just tell you things that like, oh, hey, this is Jasmine Crockett's an idiot and she's just a big. No, I'm showing you, like, people see through this. This is where you should have oh man, this is so cool. This is so cool. This is where you should have joy, because people like this, and amazing people like this woman, the guy before her, that see through the nonsense. Guys, the media doesn't show you this. The media doesn't show you this. There are so much more people that are awake right now.
How long are y'all gonna go hard for Jasmine Crockett? She's not for you. Woo! She's not for the people. She's putting on a show and she's lining her pockets. If she actually really cared about the people, she would be going for more money. Instead of saying that the United States government isn't in the business of handing out money, even though they're giving it to men who sleep with other men in South Africa, even though they're giving it to Ukraine by the billions, even though 100 billion of that money is missing, even though they're giving it to all of these migrants who have come in and have not paid into this system at all, even though they're giving the money to, obviously, these lawmakers who are compounding their money exponentially by the year. Jasmine Crockett is saying that America is not in the business of giving money to its citizens. What? But she could be fighting for us to be getting more money. Yeah. The argument could have been, instead of 20% of the savings going back to the American people, why is it not 50% of the savings going back to the American people? Why is it not 70% of the savings going back to the American people? No, that was not her argument. She said, what can $5,000 do? And she said, they're not in the business of giving us money. $5,000 could do a whole lot for a whole lot of people, actually. $5,000 could do a lot for me. I know that. That's helping somebody get out of credit card debt. That's 6 months of somebody's car payment. That's childcare. That's groceries.
Yep.
That's repairs around the house. That's healthcare and medical bills. $5,000 can actually be pretty life-changing for the average American, but Jasmine Crockett is not the average American, nor does she care about the average American. I don't know when y'all gonna pick that up.
I'm gonna just tell you something right now. She is way more attractive to me. This girl right here, she is so attractive to me. A girl that is awake and that understands what's going on is so much more attractive than like a blonde, hot, like model, like skinny person that is just like clueless and doesn't know what's going on. Girl, I'm talking about a girl, like as a single guy. This is more attractive to me than a lot of girls that are out there today that either, I don't follow politics. I don't follow that. It's too stressful. I don't follow. I've been with those girls. I just, it's like, wake up. I don't need you to be political. I just need you to just be informed a little bit, right? So you can have a conversation and understand like how we want to raise our kids if it ever gets that far. You know, this is more attractive to me. I'd date her. I'd date her. I'd date her more than any of these liberals out here that are, you know, they're either like, oh, I don't pay attention to politics, or they're like, oh yeah, Black Lives Matter, and they got the face tattoo on there, Black Lives Matter, like Black Lives Matter. Oh man, this is more attractive. This is more attractive. Where are the? Maybe I need to move out of Oregon. Where is the? You know, I produce Chad Prather's show right now. And he was telling me the other day about, you need to come to like Texas. Yes, there's a lot of beautiful girls here, a lot of conservatives. Maybe that's where I need to go, man. I don't know. Okay, one more video of, or one more, whoops. This is Alex Soros' son and now heir to the Soros throne. George Soros has handed over his empire to his son, Alex Soros, and oops, he's spotted with Miss Jasmine Crockett, the anti-American congresswoman who's rooting for Canada and Mexico more than our own country. That's frickin' treason in my book, man. Hey, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel and turn the bell on for notifications at David Medina PDX across all social media. That's X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I hope you guys had a great week, man. It's you know, we've got a lot of things going on out there, a lot of great things. There's always something to be grateful for. I hope you've had a great week. I hope you're going into the weekend. I hope you're going into whatever day you're going into. I hope as you're watching this, I hope that you're good, man. We have Mental Health Saturday. I do live on my Instagram. I field questions, whether it's relationship, marriage questions, just you're stuck in a rut. You have issues with your job or whatever, or you're just feeling purposeless, whatever it is, man, come on in to Mental Health Saturday live on Instagram. Usually we do it in the morning sometime, usually 9 or 10 o'clock Pacific time, a.m. in the morning. So anyways, join us then, and I hope you have a great night, and thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.